and it's a sports game, right? So technically speaking, when you look at it, sports games has always survived off of the purchase model. Right? Because remember, Madden used to be on Genesis. That's when I first played Madden. It wasn't even an official NFL license. It was just New York, San Francisco. Right? It didn't have no start.
They didn't have the
Yeah, so sports games always had that affinity for for success, because technically a sports game is no different than a single player game. Every year, except for the fact that now it comes out every year. But when you think about it, it's a game that comes out every year, and you have to pay $60, $70, $40, depending on what time period. But now all they did was, when online became a thing, they said, hey, let's take the couch co-op and make it online. And then they said, hey, you know what? Let's take this online multiplayer and turn it into something where we could generate revenue, all these fucking VC points and Madden teams and all that shit. But it's still a $70 game you got to buy. That never went away. They didn't make it free to play. In fact, some people be like, oh, they should just make Madden free to play and just update the game year over year. I'm like, no, they're not doing that, because they're still making $70 money. They're still making that retail money off the game. They just found a way to make even more money out of the system. But the whole live service free to play, that's a totally different thing. Right? Now you're talking about just making a game, providing it for free, and then hopefully people will provide that reoccurring revenue through money transactions stuff and shit like that, through dancers and all that stuff, right? That's a whole different concept. But you're right, man. It's clear, and it's clear because like you can see the energy people are putting into when they talk about games, right? And that's why the topic I just put Spider-Man, because I think we don't even have the room to talk about anything else in this podcast. And if anybody else wants to jump on, hey, let people know. I would love to hear opposing opinions to this, but when BioWare announced Anthem, everybody was against it, except for the multiplayer crowd, right? The Destiny crowd. But everybody who loved BioWare single player, they all hated it. And then when Anthem came out, they're like, good, it deserved to fail. You should have never made it. F you. Right?
Right after the Kill the Justice League, the Suicide Squad bombed, right? A games as a service game. Then they're gonna turn around and say, no, we want what happened to that game, but we want that for Spider-Man. That's what we want. Like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Avengers, Marvel's Avengers. When that was announced, people thought that was going to be a single player story game. Once people realized the type of game it was, like the, kind of like the Destiny type, it's not really Destiny, but it wasn't a true single player story. It was games, it was going to be like similar to a games as a service. They were going to provide updates, do raids and all that. Then people were like, screw this. And the game failed, right? And even the people, like, shout out to Jay Barry and Persona, right? I remember one podcast, they were telling me, the game's good. The next day, they shut down the servers.
Yep.
And I hit up, I showed the news clip to Persona Barry. They were like, oh, shit. But nobody really wanted Avengers like that, right?
Yep.
Then they did Gotham Knights. Yeah, another Gotham Knights again. Multiplayer online co-op, probably meant to be another games as a service thing. Flopped. Suicide Squad. Everybody's like, damn, Rocksteady, we wanted a single player. We wanted an actual new Arkham or do a new character. We didn't want this. It flopped.
Yep.
But Insomniac has the magic now. Are you kidding me, man? Come on, bro. Yep. Here's the thing I will say. If you wanted Spider-Man multiplayer, you should have proved it with Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, Avengers. If those games would have been big breakout hits, then you would get studios to buy in, be like, yo, this is the shit gamers really want.
Yep.
But Avengers flopped, Gotham Knights flopped, Suicide Squad's flopping. Y'all really don't want this shit. Let's just call it what it is, right? And the thing is, like, even when I look at the trailer, people are like, oh, it looks good. And I'm like, if it was a single player game, right? A single player story driven game that you would have, let's say, a team of Spider-Man that you would control, right? Yeah. Or maybe a story based co-op game. Okay, maybe. But a multiplayer game, like what? Like J-Dub. Yeah. How many hours are we gonna spend stopping somebody from stealing cars?
It's a
Like,
dead end game.
Are you interested in doing that for like 100 hours? Like, what can you?
Nope.
Like the first 5 hours, oh, it's cool, J Dub. What are we gonna do like on hour 20? Like, because number one, Spider-Man is not really a hard game. It really isn't, right? It's not really an in-depth challenging. Now you got 4 more. So like, what are we doing for the next 4 or 5 hours, or like longevity with the Spider-Man? And that's the main problem with these multiplayer games, right? Like what like it's clear, like, and we'll just start it off, because that's really the topic. But let's we're live right now. So hey, welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's the only friend these YouTube streets, Porter77. I got the shirt on. Today's top. I switched up the title, right? Because we talking about Spider-Man today, right? But before we get to it, we're gonna go through this, talk to the panel. Of course, J Dub, what's going on, my brother?
What's good, my peeps? How's it going?
I
already know what's going on.
We got games. We got more third-party support thanks to Xbox. Shit is gravy on PlayStation. Potentially a PS5 Pro coming out.
Yeah.
Shit is gravy. I ain't got shit to complain about.
All the games that have been coming out just for the first 3 months of this year for PlayStation is fucking crazy, man. Everything
I haven't even started Rebirth yet because I'm still playing
The Last of Us.
Yeah, I'm still playing Grand Blue Fantasy.
Yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy.
Ronin's coming out soon.
Then you got Rise of Ronin coming. You got Helldivers 2 that people can't stop playing. You got Pacific Drive that I gotta go ahead and beat. That's another great game. On top of that, we still got more games coming. Like, Stellar Blade, Stellar Yam. Hey, shout out to me, man. Luckily, guys, I got some insight on this. So I saw on Twitter, I was scrolling Twitter, I saw somebody said, "Oh, they got the Stellar Blade demo up." I didn't believe it. I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." But then the dude showed a picture, so I quickly, on my phone, I got the PlayStation app, so I went ahead and downloaded from the app. So it was downloading on my PlayStation while I was down the street from the house. So by the time I walk in the house, it said ready to play. So I booted up my PS5, and sure enough, that shit was ready to play. And I played about an hour of it. I captured some video, and I was posting some stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. But my God, it's a beautiful game. It's a mixture of, to me, Horizon Forbidden West, Nier Automata, and Devil May Cry. It's a mixture of the three.
Oh, okay.
And they give you an alternate clothing skin. Obviously they said she got over like 40 outfits or whatever. Man, I tried. Somebody told me try that secondary outfit. I said, all right, let me see this shit. And I said, oh my God, I know this game finna sell crazy.
I already bought mine. I bought mine on Saturday. I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah,
dude,
crazy.
Yeah, remember, the dude, once the dude saw that PlayStation was the #1 Pornhub device, he like,
oh yeah, got a winner.
I know what y'all really want. Oh,
he said, winner, chicken dinner. That's what he said.
He figured that out. He figured out the formula. He goes, no sweet baby ink on this game. Like,
yeah.
Oh, snap. All right.
And it's a next generation game. And according to online, apparently Shuhei went and saw that game when it was a very small game by the small indie team. Yeah. And he put more resources behind it and told him he wanted them to make a better game, and they gave them the access to I call it the Sony ecosystem. Whereas you're going to have the Sony marketing, you got the Juggernaut marketing, you got access to the developers to help you on the hardware, you got access to other stuff, and that game Shuhei Yoshida did that in 2021.
So I'm gonna have to get Shuhei on the podcast because I just want to ask him one question.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Lost Soul Side, bro?
Oh, hey, Fodor, you've been waiting for that game for 5 hours. Never forget.
No, it's gonna be 7.
Damn, 7. I remember when they first showed that game.
Yeah,
because we was talking about you mentioned that game so much. You was like one of the only people that really said that was the game that you was most interested in that game. But it was being made by one guy though.
Yo, I'm hurting right now.
This
This
gonna be 3 generations. Yeah.
Shit, but anyway, it's coming. I know it's coming. It's just I gotta believe, man. Gotta have hope.
Listen, it's going to what you call it?
Oh my god!
The little devil inside in Project
It's like the Last
Awakening,
Guardian and shit. It's like the Last Guardian, bro. That shit's taking forever, bro. Oh yeah, Jay Thomas. Yeah, all right, my brother. Hey, Craig, man, top flight security of the world, brother.
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on, my brother? How's everything?
Not a whole lot. Didn't get to play that Stellar Blade, but yeah, I went and bought mine on Saturday. I'm like, I'm going to GameStop right now. So that Xbox section in GameStop's getting smaller. So also ripped my Xbox. It's gone. I got rid of it.
You got rid of it?
Sold it on, yeah, I wasn't really using it. Yeah, so I wasn't really using it. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I wasn't. I didn't miss anything.
Well, technically, because you have the PS5, so now you have like 2 devices that plays Xbox games. That's like double whammy.
Well, I have 2 PS5s, so yeah, you're not wrong about that. So, but
that's crazy.
Another one's hooked up to a monitor, 1440p monitor. But no, I wasn't using it, and there's really nothing really coming out on it that I'm super excited to play. So.
Okay.
I'll check out that Hellblade 2. Hopefully on PC if my PC downloads it correctly. So yeah. So.
All right. So let me so to the chat and everybody watching, hope you enjoyed the show. We're gonna get deep into the topic, but first, if you don't mind hitting the like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Also, membership opportunities available. Truly appreciate those who rock with us, who's down with us and stuff like that. Community is really growing on this channel, and I really enjoy the conversation, you guys being part of it. I'm gonna share this out, and if you don't mind, I hope you guys share this out as well. It's open mic night, so anybody that wants to hop on, let me know. Say it in the chat, send me a DM on Twitter, because I would like to get a lot of opinions on this one, right? To see where we truly stand on Spider-Man multiplayer. But right now, let me send this out on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're live,
we're doing it.
Come through. Oh, Extreme, there you go. Hey, do your intro, and then we'll get right into the topic, my brother.
Hey guys, this is just me gonna test the volume levels. I've had to change a few things on the setup here because Windows sucks. So y'all let me know how it is. Aside from that, I've been playing what is it? Scarlet Nexus. Been playing Scarlet Nexus. So
how's that? I think
enjoying it. Except it suffers from this. Pardon?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm gonna say it's enjoyable, except it suffers from the same thing as Tales of Arise. It's just cutscenes every 3 seconds, and I'm just like, guys, you've done it. You've managed to have too many cutscenes for me. So that's incredible right there.
But is there black people on there?
No, but at least there are no. Yeah. No. They're all Asians. They are all Asians. At least they didn't get some Americans, so I can understand that. It's
as long
regional.
As they don't have the blonde, blue-eyed Becky.
Exactly. There you go. Just keep it the same.
All right, my brother. All right. Thanks for everything. But anyway, let's get to the show. In fact, let me do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll. We already got 200. Let's see. Well, I got 64 likes. But you know what? I'm gonna do a poll. Why not? The poll's gonna get more votes than likes. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. I'm gonna ask. The question I'm going to ask is, do you think canceling? Do you think? Holy cow! I can't type now. Do you think canceling Spider-Man multiplayer? I'll put MP was the right choice. Can I fit all that? Was the right move? Let's see. Do you think canceling Spider-Man, capitalize it, was the right decision? I think decision would be better. Decision.
Yeah,
canceling Spider-Man multiplayer was the right decision. Yes or no? Start poll. All right. Hey, so put in your votes. Hey, question is, do you think it was the right decision canceling Spider-Man? So let's start it off. We'll go down the line, but the actual leak trailer of what would have been the Great Web, the intro to Spider-Man, was leaked. I guess it was part of the original leak, but I can't remember. The original leak was like what? Like a terabyte of stuff, and people sifting through it. So now the leak is out, and the reactions about the game, the reactions of how it looks. Did everyone get to see the trailer? I am not going to post the trailer.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, so I'm not going to post the trailer. So if you don't mind, would you mind? JW, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Extreme, did you see it? Hello, Extreme? Is he gone? Oh, they got him. Oh, he's on mic. He's muted. He's muted and he can't hear. He's mute and deaf. Holy shit, they have the symbol deafened and muted.
Yeah, no.
My man said, he says, I ain't talking and I ain't listening. Did you get to see the trailer?
Yeah, so I saw part of it, but I wasn't that interested. I'm not interested to see a trailer for something that's not coming.
Okay, all right. So you saw part of it. Craig, if you don't mind, do you need a link to see it?
Oh no, I mean if it's not coming, it's not coming. So
okay. I mean I know that. But the topic of a lot of people saying, "Oh, it looks good, it looks bad," blah blah blah, stuff like that. So I thought if you guys would look at it real quick to give your opinion on the presentation of it. But I'll start off with J-Dub then. He saw the trailer.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of? So it's gonna be. I don't even know how many questions. We'll start with this. What do you think of the trailer? What do you think of them canceling? And what do you think of the community's reaction of those that feel that it shouldn't have been canceled? So we'll start with what do you think?
Okay. Well, first, me watching it, first thing I thought it was, clearly like running on PC. I thought it was someone got a montage of a bunch of cinematics and kind of post them together. I thought it could be a PC mod because those dudes be creative on the PC when they get games. They'll do all kind of crazy stuff and edits and stuff. I don't know if you saw like Grand Theft Auto 5. They add all the mods and stuff, make it look realistic, and they do all kind of cinematic cuts and stuff. That kind of, I thought that's what it was from. Because it didn't come from an official source. It just says this is, a council multiplayer game. And then the second thing about it, I started thinking about it. Okay, it's going to have up to 5 players at the same time. For one, they didn't show any gameplay. It was all cinematics. So I mean, I would like to see a HUD. How did you expect this shit to work with 5 characters? Show me a HUD or something. And then on top of that, if you got 5 characters on the screen, right? 5 Spider-Mans on the screen. Who are you going to be fighting? Because you can only put so many characters on the screen. And how is that like graphically, aesthetically? Like, how are you going to fit all of that on the screen? There's going to be limitations there. So I just didn't understand.
Remember, it's multiplayer, so you really only seeing your character. It's like Destiny or Helldivers. There's 4 players on the screen, but it's not really on your screen. You're controlling one character. But the trailer, they're showing everybody. It may not show them on the. Yeah, the trailer may not even be like a true gameplay trailer. It could be,
it's not. It wasn't gameplay. It was cinematic. So I'm thinking, right? Yeah. Obviously, I'm thinking how it was going to play out. So that's why I'm bringing this stuff to light. I'm thinking like, how is that going to be possible now? It works for Helldivers because, like you said, everybody has their own screen and they can venture off away from somewhere else and do their own thing. But what I got from the trailer was like everybody's going to be on screen at the same time and you're going to be fighting and pulling out all these. It's just, I don't know how that would ever work. And so this trailer really didn't show you anything about how the game would actually work. Sure, we'd like to see. It was, the trailer was cool because it showed you the different Spider-Mans and stuff that was, the cinematics of them, but none of that was gameplay. It didn't show you how that game would work, and the fact that it was canceled means they couldn't get it to work. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'd rather not fucking play some shit than have them to put some shit out because we know what's going to happen. It's just going to be a long line of failed games and service type games. So it's. I don't know. I don't know if in the future they can make up, a Spider-Man multiplayer type game. I think maybe a 2-player split screen, like Hero Down Under said, maybe something like that, or maybe I just don't know. For example, we're in a one session. I'm on this side, with Spider-Man in Puerto Rock. You're Miles Morales on the other side of the block or the other side of the city fighting guys. But it's basically technically a single player game that's interwoven with two characters in a session. But I think the goal of having a multiplayer game is so you can see each other and interact with each other and be bad guys together with each other and not be separated or not be off screen. So I don't know. Maybe I need to see another game that they can say, yeah, it was supposed to be like this game or like that game for me to kind of get what they were trying to go for. So all we have is a trailer that don't really show you what you're going to get. But I did find it ironic that merely 2 weeks ago, everybody was laughing and poking fun at Suicide Kill the Justice League game for failing, even though they put a bunch of money. I'm pretty sure they spent $100+ million because the game been delayed for so long. I'm pretty sure that game cost $100 million, maybe $200 million, and it failed. And there are people they are looking forward to Sony games as a service games or single player games to fail. They're just rooting for it to fail, even if they know the concept is shit. And I'm like, if a developer don't have faith in a game, don't fucking put it out. I don't want to buy shit. I want to buy goatees. Simple.
Yeah, and the reason they want them to fail is that way they now Sony has to put their games on all platforms. That's really what this is all coming down to. So, yeah, they do want them to fail. As far as the game itself, like J-Dub saying, if you didn't see actual physical gameplay, then there's really nothing to. I mean, what can you say? I mean, would you have been tethered? I mean, to each other? I was playing and J-Dub was playing. Could he get down to 9th Street and I'm on 5th Street, and then the game what would it do? So would it have any kind of free roam? Just anything. So, but I just think that there's a group of people who have they want to play, I guess, online real bad. I don't have that in me anymore. I did that in the 90s. So shout out to everybody who still wants that. But yeah, the whole thing, Sony has to, like you all talked about last week, exclusives is bad now. And Puerto Rock, your video was spot on when you talked about, well, they're not talking about Hellblade 2 being bad, being bad for the industry. They're not talking about Elder Scrolls being bad for the industry. They're not talking about Indiana Jones being bad for the industry. It somehow it's okay for Microsoft to have these exclusive games, which I don't have an issue with. But oh no, Sony can't do it. It's not the same. It's not right. It's not fair. So it's, to me, it's just shrug your shoulder and shout out to Sick Humor. That I don't really engage in the conversation anymore because that's it. Literally is they don't like the fact that Xbox is putting games on PlayStation. They just, and Nintendo. They don't like it. But instead of them holding their nuts and getting rid of their Xboxes, they're bitching. So it's just I just shrug my shoulders at it.
Okay. Hey,
okay. So I've seen the trailer. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I took a look at it. If you're gonna talk about it, I may as well see it. So yeah, looks phenomenal. Looks great. Now, a few things that we can say about the trailer, about this whole thing. Number one, it's rumored that it's a cancelled project, right? Fair enough. Number two, if they got so far down as to have made the trailer, then it went pretty far, right? Like you wouldn't have just made a trailer for something that was just an idea floating in the office for a week or two. Mm-hmm. So you went pretty far down the line. And if they canceled it, then they pretty much realized something, either like something that Naughty Dog realized, like, hey, if we're going to make this thing, this is all we're making. There's no more Wolverine, there's no more this, and there's no more that, because we need to turn this into pretty much the only project that we have for like the next 5 years. Or they came up with something where they were like, you know what, we just couldn't quite find the fun in it. Because I think when people see something like this, they get the pitch. They're like, oh my god, I already know what the gameplay of Spider-Man is. I get to do it with my friends. And now I get to have it in a mode that is dedicated for this. So I'm not just playing the single player story. I'm going to have missions. I'm going to have this everlasting world. But then you might say, okay, cool. We understand the pitch. And at the end of the day, the game just doesn't find its fun. It's a bit like Destruction All Stars. When I finished playing it for the first time, I thought to myself, this is a game that is in search of the fun factor. It has mechanics, and those mechanics work, but it's not fun to play. So sometimes you might get something like this where it looks really great, and then you think to yourself, it's not fun. Like it's just not, it's not coalescing into something that is altogether better, or just as good as you imagined in your head. And as a creative, you have to be prepared to kill your darlings. You can go really far down the line with a particular idea, really polish it, give it all the love that you can, and it just does not turn out, So, yeah, this could be one of the darlings that had to be killed because it just didn't deliver the experience that they expected. And I will always respect a studio or any creative assembly, and whether that's a single person or a company, for being able to say, hey, you know what? I tried this thing and it's not up to the quality that I want. So I would rather let it go than release something that I'm disappointed with into the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean,
wait. Hold on. I don't know if you guys see this, but there's just somebody just put it on Twitter. Wario64 Venom 3, titled Venom: The Last Dance, is releasing in October.
That's a takeoff on the Spider-Man movie.
Oh, you mean the movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, but I just find it ironic we're talking about this here. That trailer came out. What if that trailer is actual from them, and they maybe it just leaked early because of the Insomniac hacks or whatever? What if that was planned to coincide with the?
Well, no, that is from the Spider-Man movie, the third Spider-Man movie that didn't do as well. Venom was in that movie, and and Peter Parker started acting out. That's why he's dancing like that. So he's
no. I'm talking about this. So there's a movie called Venom 3, Venom: The Last Dance. It's releasing in movie theaters October the 25th this year.
Okay.
There's a new Venom movie coming out this year. I said I just find it funny how could it possibly be that this is a game that they will come out with or they're not going to come out with, but it was probably to coincide in the same year that they're coming out with a Spider-Man / Venom movie or whatever.
Well, the leak show they canceled. The leak show they cancanceled the multiplayer. They already showed the roadmap.
Yeah, but no, the movie. J-Dub's right about the movie.
Yeah.
Variety
it probably would have been if it would have kept going.
Yeah,
it's real. It is real.
Yeah, I could have
said it is called The Last Dance. So
let me ask you this, for the Rock. The tweet that came out with this trailer from a guy, he said that it was canceled, so he got it as a leak, but we don't have an official word from anybody. There was nothing official outside of that original thing, the tweet that started all this, where the guy said that this was canceled. Well, that guy leads to nothing, or is there any more information?
No, so remember the leak? It talked about the Spider-Man multiplayer game and the time frame of what it was supposed to do, but they canceled that plan. Remember the leak, the original Insomniac?
Yeah. Okay. I know. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they had the leak mentioned the Spider-Man game. They mentioned the Spider-Man game, but they X'd out that project and kept going with the single player strategy. So
that's when we saw the roadmap. We saw the roadmap.
Insomniac's leading, and that's how we found out about X-Men eventually coming, right? So all of that led to that. Yeah. I just didn't know. I was just wondering, did that big, huge data leak also include the trailer? I'm guessing the trailer was in there and people are still going through it.
It's possible.
It's like a terabyte of data. And now somebody found it and now they leaked it online. They're like, oh shit, this shit also included the trailer. So now they dumped the trailer and stuff, right?
I wonder if the Craven movie, is there going to be some kind of crossover? Because I would think Craven would rather, like in the video game, he was hunting Venom. So there could be some crossover because that's coming out this year too.
Yeah,
they're doing that whole
universe, Spider-Verse or whatever.
You can say Spider-Verse. It's just weird how they're doing it, man.
But Tobey Maguire,
Madden Web.
They basically kind of tie all that shit together.
Madden Web don't count.
It's just really bad, but it is. That's part of it. It's just weird. It's just weird. But we're going on track to this movie dumb shit. So I like what Extreme was talking about. Yeah, it was like what Extreme's talking about. And here's what I don't understand. Why is let me address the super chat real quick. Flaffy 101, he says removing the Spider-Man suit powers was a mistake. I kind of understand what you're saying because I kind of miss the fact that when you put on the suit, it has some type of additional powers like the first original game. So I know what you mean. I don't know if it's a mistake, but I did miss that uniqueness of each suit. I think there was one suit that actually gave you something, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't like the first game where almost all the suits had something. The Brain, shout out, Brain being a member for 21 months. Thank you so much for being part of the family. He said the Spider-Man game have machine learning, Insomniac learning, Insomniac's learning. This is what's asinine about this community, bro. We have a lot of asinine fools in this community. We saw Avengers flopped.
Yeah.
We saw Gotham Knights flopped. Then we saw Rocksteady, who, if you wanna, I mean, let's be real about it. They're the father of the fundamental idea of taking a comic book game and saying, nah, we can make this a GOTY. This is more than just a cash grab. This is more than just something you release when a movie comes out. This shit's gonna run with the big boys. Right? It's going to be next to the Halos. It's going to be next to the Gears. It's going to be next to Uncharted. And our name will be up there among the best studios. And Arkham series did that. So you could say they're the fathers of not comic book gaming, but comic book triple, GOTY gaming. They're the ones that did it. They're the ones that showed the blueprint. It can be done. Right? And then they try to take us. So technically speaking, they make great games. Right? They took a stab at games as a service and it flopped miserably.
Yep.
Why does everybody think Insomniac has the keys to the city? They figured out the formula, right?
You know what they'll say? They'll tell you that Insomniac never miss, which is what they said about Rocksteady.
So the funny part is, then how come Sunset Overdrive wasn't a huge running success? Like
that doesn't count. That was Xbox.
It wasn't on PlayStation.
Multiplayer, right? Well, even Ratchet and Clank on the PS5 was good, but it wasn't a breakout hit.
They'll tell you that wasn't a miss. They will defend whatever they feel like defending in the moment. That's what they'll do.
Yeah. Here's the reality. If this, in my opinion, if this was a game that was a true creative project, that this was something that Insomniac was like, yes, we have this great idea. Man, this is going to be dope, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be successful. It's going to love it. Then this game will come out. If they really wanted it, if they really wanted this game to come out, it will come out. Right?
Yeah, it came out.
If this game got canceled, it's because chances are the developers was like, this is not something we really want to do. This is not something we really want to maintain. And we don't think this is going to have any long-term success. Sony's like, cancel it then. Scratch it.
Yeah.
Scratch it off the book, right? Because I guarantee it's not Sony that's initiating the cancel, because they want live service games. They want that reoccurring revenue. You know what I'm saying? So if a studio's really pushing for a live service game, I'm pretty sure Sony be like, got it, hell yeah. That's what we want to hear. But they're not going to be like Microsoft, or at least I would like to think they're not like Microsoft, where if a studio tells them, especially their big studios like Insomniac, Naughty Dog and them, and they tell you, hey, this is a bad idea, it's just simply not going to work, Sony's like, nah, fuck that. Send that shit out. I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah.
I think they'll be like, fuck, all right, shut that shit down. You know what I'm saying? So if Insomniac's like, yeah, we're not doing this, boys, you probably best believe that they don't have much confidence in this game, right? Everybody has confidence just because they want things to try. But people don't understand. People need to go to the What's Up channel and listen to the Shawn Layden interview. If for anything else, listen to the last 5 minutes. He reminds people that it's called the video game business, but people drop the business part for some reason. Does everybody think this is a non-profit organization, like gaming's non-profit? Because sometimes
they do it out of the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, it just feels like the community thinks that gaming is a non-profit organization. Like the reaction to stupid shit we hear is like, yo, you do realize if developers create flops, they'll get shut down. Like, it's not They're not doing this for free. It's not a non-profit thing. They're not just doing it for the goodness of their heart. These dudes are working their stuff, and they got to make successful games because they got. And he even said it, Shawn Layden. These people, this is how they send their kids to school. This is how they pay their mortgages. This is how they put food on the table. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you gamers? Are you fucking dumb or stupid? You go to your boss and keep bringing in shitty work, and you let me know how that turns out.
Yeah.
Simply because you just show. Well, you think you showing up to your job? That's it. That's success. Produce shitty work consistently and let me know how that turns out in your job. Like, the hell is wrong with these dudes, bro?
Yeah. We talked about that before. It's not a and shout out to Brap, Basement Radio Arcade podcast. Everybody's talked about this. There's just a group of people out here who think that these companies shouldn't make any money at all, that they're greedy and things like that. And I'm against that. I'm a free market capitalist. So, and like I said, they made fun of that in Grand Theft Auto 5. So you can go to school and rip people off for a living. It's called capitalism. So, but I think it's gotten to, for me personally, I just want to speak for myself here. I no longer have these type of conversations with people because either you want to buy something or you don't. I mean, I would love that Sony 42-inch OLED in my bedroom. I would love it, but it's too expensive for me right now. So I can wait for it to come down like a consumer would do. And if Microsoft with the Xbox has something that you like, then buy it. If not, then don't buy it. But I mean, it's the console war is over. It's over. And I know we're going to talk about that here shortly, but these guys have nothing else to talk about. So, and now it is Sony's game.
But I think this is a PlayStation. I think it's some of the PlayStation guys too, because I think that's.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's the Xbox. Yeah, some Xbox guys are on it, but I think there's PlayStation guys that are like it was like for the most part, it was only a few that had like the general consensus of like, let's say, Suicide Squad. Most knew this shit was gonna flop. Like most knew. Extreme definitely knew.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Like there was no that. Like when I saw the first 3 minutes, I'm like, bro, yeah, right, buddy. Like, yo, it was so fucking obvious. I'm like, I don't understand why people like admit it. Most gamers don't want this multiplayer shit for comic book games. We're not there yet. We haven't even scratched the surface of what people really want. The only people that are enjoying, generally a lot of people enjoying comic book, but the people who are really enjoying it are the fans of Spider-Man because they got what they want, and the fans of Batman because they got what they want. But all the other big fans whose favorite character is like Green Lantern or Aquaman or Wonder Woman, they haven't got their moment in the sun yet.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's coming. Wonder Woman
is coming. Monolith. So shout out to them. Blade is coming. So hopefully they deliver. Yeah. So we're seeing them, right? But I think EA canceled a few games. We just don't know what they are. But they said they're canceling a few licensed IP games.
Yeah.
So did they cancel Black Panther?
We'll find out.
Who was it? What games was EA making? Black
Panther? I think Black Panther. I think Black Panther
and
got
Iron Man,
too.
right?
Yeah.
I think they had
Iron Man game. I think did get canceled. Yeah,
look at that.
There's another Black Panther game coming. There's the Black Panther Captain America game. That's
Ubisoft, right?
Coming. Yeah. Well, no, Ubisoft. That is Amy Henning's studio.
But under who though?
Under Amy Henning. I think she's
this Amy Henning character. She keeps starting and not finishing projects. Like honestly, like I know she's had bad luck and everything, but I'm like, bro, it's been like 10 years since you actually shipped something. Like, why do I still know your name? Please. I don't care what she's shipping. Let her put something out.
No. Oh, shit. But yeah.
And the thing is, she created my favorite Assassin's Creed. So I'm like, hey, I actually have love for you. But please, stop starting. Like, didn't she go to Stadia at some point? Like, she just got bad luck. She just got bad luck.
Yeah, that's true, too. Yeah, there were 2 Black Panther games, and because
Mandalorian was also canceled.
That was canceled. Yeah.
You see?
Oh, that sucks. But the Black Panther game, the other Black Panther game was supposed to be T'Chaka, and then there was another one that was supposed to have T'Challa. But the one with Captain America and Black Panther, that's supposed to be T'Chaka.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see. But man, oh man, you're right. A lot of these games did get canceled. I'm just glad they're making a third Star Wars game. the Ubisoft game and then the other Star Wars game that's coming.
Yeah.
So
you see what I'm
Jedi,
saying?
whatever.
So really, the appetite is the single player story because everybody wants their character and their own story, and people want to play a part of it, right? There's general comic book audience that will generally play what, like me, I'll play almost any comic book game, right? Almost all of them, right? But like Batman was my shit, and I was so happy I got that. Spider-Man I'm a fan of, but Batman was my jam, right? So I would love a new Batman game, but I got multiple Batman games. I'm more than happy and thankful for what Rocksteady did, right? I'm looking forward to Wolverine, right? Wolverine's not my favorite character, but I do enjoy the character. But I guarantee there are hardcore fans of Wolverine, and when that game comes out, they're just gonna fucking love that game, right? And they deserve it, right? So everybody so far, you got the Batman fans like me, you got the hardcore Spider-Man fans, they got what they want. X-Men, Wolverine, they got what they want, but you got people who are Daredevil, you got people, Green Lantern, all them dudes, and they're like, man, bro, you out here doing this multiplayer stupid shit. When is it my turn coming, right? When do we get our shine, right? But Shawn Layden, if you still haven't seen the WAP Sauce podcast, and this is another thing I know is a community, motherfuckers want to spend time talking as if they know everything, but they don't do any research. Like, fuck, put in a little time. If you guys really want to talk about gaming, because you want to talk about gaming on that level, and you want to make comments about, well, the industry and this and that, then fucking do a little homework. Especially when you got good content like what Jay Barry and Persona did. Yo, Shawn Layden spit some amazing information that puts things in perspective. Right? Yo,
I was like, wow.
Genius fucking podcast, bro. That podcast, I was like, yo, this is some fucking great information. And they won't do it, and they keep living off of some bullshit emotional thing of what they think will happen, right? When Shawn Layden said that these live service games survive of up to 5% of the player base, monetizing it, I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me, like games like Fortnite or Apex or Call of Duty Warzone, is really 5% of the gamers that actually monetize this shit? Everybody else doesn't pay nothing, right? And I don't think I received the information because when I listen to information, I'm like, I try to look at it holistically. He was just trying to say, because the question was about, putting game days on date on PC, whatever, for free to play, and Shawn Layden was saying, well, up to 5% of the population is what monetizes the game. So you can have 5% of, let's say, 10 million plays on one platform, or you could get 5%, 50 million if you spread it out. He said that's why it's important for free to play to be on as much devices as you can, because you're looking at about up to 5%. So that 5% is based on your limitation. If you only own it on one console, 5%. If you put it on two consoles, 5%. If you put on two consoles and PC, 5%. Two consoles, PC, and phones, 5%. You see what I'm saying? That's why he's trying to push. But in my mind, you're relying on the system where at most 5% will make it successful. No wonder most of these live service games fail. Like, that's fucking a risk from hell that you're trying to push a service where at most 5% will provide you the profit that you need. What if hardly anyone plays it? You're fucked. And that's why you see Avengers failed.
Yeah, that's why you see so many of them close. Like you had that Rocket Avengers thing. You had that what was that? It was like a dodgeball roller skating game from EA.
Rollerblade.
That also closed. Exactly.
Rollerblade.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So that also closed, even though they had a positive reception. But the thing is, like you say, now that we have that number, that 5% kind of like maximum for these free-to-play games, you're thinking to yourself like, okay, well, now you really need to hit like 10 million people day one in order to have a fighting chance.
Day one.
Which is pretty different from, obviously he did mention that that's specifically free-to-play games, not like Helldivers, which isn't free-to-play. But yeah, that just shows you like free-to-play is definitely this like false idol that people have where they think like this thing is just gonna be like, oh yeah, my friends and I are playing it for free, and it's like, no. And you know what, for me that actually puts out a lot of a lot of perspective on the fact that these microtransactions are not so micro anymore. Like you're taking a look at certain cosmetics and they cost $20. Certain will cost $30. If you
That's
look at
almost
a
the
game
price
like
of
Valorant,
games.
it'll be like $200. You know, you're thinking to yourself like, why are these things so expensive? And what you realize is that as the one person who is even considering buying this microtransaction or whatever, you're literally paying for like thousands of other people that never will. So I don't think it's good. I still wish that microtransactions went back to being microtransactions, but I think that
Like
the gaming industry
$2.
has to step away. Yeah, exactly.
Like
The
$2.
gaming industry. Let's go back to the horse armor. Remember when
Yeah.
$2.50 horse armor was an
Oh my
outrage?
god. That was a problem, bro. When they announced horse armor for Elder Scrolls Oblivion,
Yeah.
yo, the
I
gaming
remember that.
community
Yeah.
flipped the fuck out.
And that was
I forgot about
$2.50.
that.
Bro, now we have game for like $25 they want the skin and people don't say nothing. You know, and I'm just like, what are you on about? Like I would rather
But
support
$70
indie games.
games is too expensive. But a
I've always
whole
been like
game
this.
is expensive.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I will always be like this. I will pay that money on the indies. Thank you. And you were absolutely right before, guys. What's a PlayStation podcast by Jay Barry and Persona? They actually had Shawn freaking Layden. Like when this guy speaks, he doesn't speak like you and me who has to be like, oh, we've never seen behind the scenes. We've never seen how the sausage is made. He's been there for like 30 years at PlayStation. I don't care if he says that he doesn't represent PlayStation anymore. Everything that he says is steeped in so much experience. You need to go watch it. How does that thing have less than 10k views at this point? If this was an IGN, it would be like 500k views like immediately, even if nothing about the content actually changed. So it's like, go watch it.
They quoted it. I mean, IGN pretty much. I don't know if they ever gave Barry and Persona credit, but they
need to start doing that, man, because it's like, why are you not? Like, clearly they've done it for a third time. I think they're just jealous.
Could be. Yeah.
Well, we know what it is, man. We know what it is.
I wasn't gonna go there, you know, because I don't know if Barry and Persona want us to pull out that card, but you know, I'm just saying, if it was only it's Alex, there'd be a lot more viewers.
You know,
well, he'd probably had his shirt off too. So
what's crazy is for this model to work, you need at least like 50 plus million across everything, right? And most games are not going to do that. You're not going to get that many plays. Like if you got a game where 50 million people are playing your game a month, if 5% is only playing it, that's 2.5 million people supporting the 50 million. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you like, do these guys really think that their next game is gonna reach 200 million? Like Fortnite gets 230 million across all devices. Not that many games do that. That's like a rare game. Another point Shawn Layden made was there's no room for all these games. He even mentioned during his time when it was like their version of like multiplayer games, there was like, you know, Evercrack. I remember he mentioned EverQuest. And there was a transition, like there was a game before EverQuest, and then it went from that game to EverQuest, and then EverQuest went to World of Warcraft, and like, but all those games didn't succeed at the same time. Like it was just not possible.
It was a build up because you had Diablo, you had Diablo,
like,
then you had StarCraft, then you had then World of Warcraft came and kind of set a new standard. That's kind of the standard. But I remember playing Diablo on my
But before
PC
the Warcraft, there was EverQuest. That was
no,
the
he's
game
talking
everybody was
specifically
playing. They
about
called it
MMORPGs.
That
because it was
MMORPGs
MMORPGs that were pretty much live service games before service games were called that.
Yeah,
so
monthly fee.
You know,
had to pay a monthly fee to play them, and that was called Evercrack. People used to break up their marriages for that. But then when World of Warcraft came, Evercrack started dying out. And the point he was trying to say is that the industry thinks there's room for all these live service games to all be successful. He's like, there isn't. It's just not enough room. He's like, there's already the packets of. There's already these Ultima Online. There we go. Shout out to Brian East.
Yep, Ultima Online. Yep.
He said first it was Ultima Online, then EverQuest took over, and then World of Warcraft. Right, and it's true. There's only so much bandwidth right now. Everybody talks about live service game success, right? And we're like, oh, it's because of this, because of that. Then how come we keep mentioning the same old shit from last gen? We keep mentioning Fortnite, which was a last gen game. We mentioned Apex Legend, last gen game. Warframe, last gen game. What else? Overwatch, last gen game. Like, we're not mentioning anything new. Like, when you think about this gen, what is the super big live service game we have this gen?
Right now, it's Helldivers.
No, we've got
right?
three.
Probably, right? Helldivers is probably the closest, right? And I would say, like, it's not even egregious. And technically speaking, Helldivers is a game you have to buy. You have to pay $40 to play it, right? It's not a free to play. So it's not totally surviving off of the MTX model live service. But
so a quick tangent. Do you guys remember Neopets?
Neopets sounds familiar.
Oh man, Neopets. That was like, because I was thinking, you had the MMOs like Warcraft, right? But you also had like free to play MMOs that were pretty big. You had RuneScape, you had Neopets, and then you had some other ones as well. So the point is like he said, right? You only ever had enough population for maybe 5 or 6. 3 would be the premium titles, and then 3 would be the free to play titles or titles that had some free to play component.
Hey, someone said Nick said Neopets was my shit in middle school.
Hey, mine too, right? I got super like wealthy in there.
I heard a Tamagotchi. Yo, this is crazy. All right, keep going, my brother.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, what he said is this: you have the same population of gamers, right? Like, there's some of us here that do not like live service games, right? And we kind of like see Helldivers as its own separate thing. I think Helldivers is actually way closer to an old multiplayer game than it is a live service game. So it's kind of like its own thing. But aside from that, we are not interested in live service games. But then there is a population that is very live service friendly, right? They really like that. But the thing is, they migrate from one to the other because these kind of perpetual words have always demanded your time, right? Whether you're talking about World of Warcraft, EverQuest, Ultimate Online, bringing all the way forward to Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone and Apex Legends. They've always demanded so much time, so much dedication, so much attention. They've never been casual experiences. So now you're going to take people that like that kind of framework, and you're just going to shift them from one land to another. And like we've been seeing, right? Eventually, like you say, Potterwork, everybody has their wife. Everybody has their go-to. They will go out and they will explore. They will cheat. They will experiment out there. But they're gonna come back. Exactly. They're gonna try some things out there they wouldn't try with her. They're gonna disrespect that one game the way they never would. With their own home game. But at the end of the day, they're going to come back home because they like a well-cooked meal and they know that this woman can cook. So here's the thing. We have all of these things. And I think sometimes people, like you said, they don't see the business aspect of this because maybe Sony looked around and he said, you know what, guys? You guys have a great game. There will be no audience for it. Like, you're going to come out, make a splash at the beginning, and then it will be something like Ghost of Tsushima Legends. You make a nice splash, and because you're like Spider-Man, sure, you make a bigger splash. By the end of the day, 3 months later, you're forgotten.
Yeah, that game kind of just went away. I don't know anybody that's playing that.
That's a brilliant comparison. First, shout out to SNK. He said, shout out to Akira Toriyama. You are forever the GOAT. May he rest in peace. Perfect example, right? The multiplayer component Ghost of Tsushima was pretty good, but it had no long-lasting staying power, right? Because in my opinion, like, if you really want a successful multiplayer, right, even like service game, to me, the first step is it has to be genuine. It has to be, because even genuine ideas fail, but it's got to start there. Yeah. In my opinion, just the thought of Spider-Man multiplayer, that is not, I don't see a creative developer thinking about that. It is somebody that's a suit that pushed it down to Insomniac and asked them to say, hey, could you look into taking this IP and try to make it into something where it can be reoccurring revenue. And the reason why I use that term, and that's going to be my term, I'm not even going to say the suits are looking to make multiplayer games. I'm going to use reoccurring revenue because, again, Shawn Layden brought insight because that's what the finance guy sees. They want to look at games that can bring in reoccurring revenue. That's what they want, right? And sometimes they don't see that if the game's going to fail or there's no bandwidth for the game or even the creativity behind the game. It's just make a game that can produce recurring revenue. And I guarantee that's how the Great Red was born. It was born off of a recommendation from Hire, directing Insomniac to look into a game using the Spider-Man IP because it's popular as hell, right? So you already have the popularity. You already have the good faith of the people. You have everybody loving Insomniac. And I think Rocksteady fell victim to that too, right? The popularity, the faith, the trust, the love of the titles they make. Now all of a sudden, let's take all of that and see if we could convince this audience, since you already have a good name tied to you, right? And the IP's the hottest out on the streets. Try to make that something where we can consistently make money, reoccurring revenue. And that's how this game was born. But with the way things are going, thankfully, at least hopefully I would like to think that these studios do have some influence if they really want to make these games. And I think Insomniac's like, hey, we really don't want to release this game. This is not something that's going to be successful. I think Bungie, in my opinion, is really influencing that, right? Mm-hmm. I think Bungie, right now, I think Sony's getting their money's worth in the sense of, and I know some people are going to look at it as weird, sometimes somebody's telling you, shut this shit down, is shit you need to hear. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. Sometimes you need to hear somebody says, shut this bullshit down. And sometimes you hate the advice, but you need the advice. You hate it, but you need it. It's not sometimes what you want to hear. It's sometimes what you need to hear. And Bungie's like, looking at Spider-Man's like, yeah, the first week or two, yeah, you're going to get some shine. But come 30 days, the gamers will have their revenge on you for what you did. Because they could clearly, eventually going to figure out you really didn't put your heart into this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or some shit. I guarantee this wasn't a project. This was a project born out of higher ups saying, look into 12 games, J-Dub. They wanted 12 games. And I'm thinking, yo. And they wanted it by 2026. I'm like, yo, they're going to release 12 live service games in a span of 3 years. And people, what's funny? I guarantee every single first party studio was tasked to do it. Because if you didn't include Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Sony Bend, Sucker Punch, you subtract 4, then who do you have left? All right, Gran Turismo. Okay, you can say that's a live service game. Let's see, you can include Marvel BD Show's a live service game. That's 2. Where are the other 10 coming from? Well, you had Deviation, you have Firewalk, right? Concord, Helldivers, that's 6.
Yeah. Sounds like
where's the other 6? Like, I'm running out of studios here. If you're like, and then people argue, oh, it's not the main studios. All right, we're going to exclude Guerrilla. We're going to exclude Naughty Dog. We're going to exclude all of them. I just named 6. Where are the other 6 coming from? Like, you have to include them. They want 12.
Yeah, the Guerrilla game, I think, is still coming out.
Horizon Zero Dawn, that's still coming out. Yeah, but I think that's
still on track.
What's that company? NetEase?
Nexus.
Not Nexus. NetEase, or who's that?
There is a company called NetEase. I'm not sure if it's them, though.
Let me see. Yeah, I know there's a company called NetEase, right? But I don't know if it's like this. NetEase. But I don't know if it's not. Let me see. NetEase. Come on, help me out. We sound stupid here. NCSoft. Shout out to Phlegaron. Shout out. There you go, NCSoft. So I think they're the ones that are helping out with that one, right? But I'm like, yo, the first party studios are involved in this shit. Because it's not like Microsoft. They don't have 40 studios to pan this out, right? Even Bluepoint might be making. I'm like, man, they're really tasking everybody to look into GaaS. That means all hands on deck. But at least now they're dialing it back. I think at the very least, they're getting the consideration of the studio. Like, hey, do you think this is going to work? And the studio's like, nah, we need to shut this shit down.
Poto, I will also say one thing. One very important thing that Shawn Layden said. When these games will probably be made, right? Because again, we know that this thing probably spent 2 or 3 years in the oven, right? Yeah. Before somebody checked in. This was during the time when COVID was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So what did Shawn Layden say? You had a captive audience. You had people that had no other option. So that means that at this one moment in time was probably the only moment in time when, number one, everybody was like activated to gaming. But number two, that 5% threshold was probably way higher during COVID. So these companies were preparing for a world in which they thought that, hey, there might be 400 million gamers that are interested in our game, right? Because now we are converting so many new people into gaming. We are reintroducing people that left gaming for a while, or even the people that are currently gaming. Well, if they were gaming 10 hours a week, now they're gaming 20 hours a week. And if they were spending something like $5 on microtransactions, now they're spending $15 on microtransactions. So you're building up for this, this rocket ship to take off, and then suddenly COVID and pretty much our attitude towards COVID evaporates, right? We're like, okay, get back out there, passionately make out with 7 people in one night. Go ahead, do what you do, you filthy creatures. So now no one is gaming that way anymore. So there are projects like this one that might make a lot of sense when you're under COVID conditions, because now you're thinking to yourself, yeah, we've got the audience, we've got the people, we can create 12 live service games because the market will support that. And then the market shifts and everybody starts paying attention to like going out and seeing Taylor Swift again, going out and seeing the Australian Open again. They go out and they're like active and they exercise and go for hikes and discussing things like that where they have to move their bodies and sweat, right? People are interested in doing those things now and less in playing your video games. So now you're thinking to yourself, well, this thing was only ever going to capture, let's say, 5% of the market. And now that market has shrunk back to normal levels, it's not worth it.
So that's an interesting point, because he did mention about layoffs and layoff industry, right? And there was a conversation about industry getting smaller, but he said no, the industry is not getting smaller. It's just going back to where it was pre-2020, pre-COVID.
COVID, that's exactly right. Yeah,
and I'm like, and I never looked at it that way, but he said, man, COVID really got people just hiring. What's the metaverse? So many people playing more games online, and like Extreme said, this caused, I would say a false reality. Like, and I'll be honest, it's pretty interesting. Like us in the military, at least in the Marine Corps, it changed some stuff for us while COVID was happening, but at no point did we think that this reality was the new normal. We knew this is just restrictions, so we're just gonna operate upon these restrictions. But once COVID gets over, and we in our minds are like, it will be over, we're going back to business as usual. Like, we're gonna ignore. Now, sure, there might be some innovations, like what you call it, like teleworking really evolved, using Teams really evolved. So some things did evolve, but at no point did we say, oh man, we don't need to go back to work no more. No. Once COVID was over, see you at 05 in PT shorts, we're running 5 miles again. Get your bitch ass back on the road, right? Like, all of a sudden people, like, I'll give you an example just in the Marine Corps, right? Because of COVID, we stopped our physical fitness evaluations because we couldn't like evaluate each other. And we stopped platoon PTing together, all that stuff. Everybody was just physical training on their own. Whether it's P90X, whatever, but maintain the best you can, what you can, right? And for the most part, Marines did a good job because, we did, some really fell off, but others excelled, right? But for the most part, we generally did what we had to do, right? Once COVID ended, we didn't say, you know what? It clearly worked. Everybody was able to manage their time. We didn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to, get everybody together to run in 10-degree weather or run in the rain or the other stupid shit. COVID, this is the new Marine Corps. No! Get your bitch ass back on the road, devil. It's 5 a.m. Yes, you're fucking tired. Yes, it's cold as fuck. We running. We're gonna do our push-ups. We're gonna cry. Grab that fucking log. Let's go. Run up that goddamn hill. Back to basics, right? we you fucking out your goddamn mind. Do I have to come into work? I could do it on my computer. Get your bitch ass back in the goddamn shop. The fuck is you thinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? You out your goddamn mind, devil. Can we do split shift? How about I split your head open? Back in the fucking formation, devil dog. Right? Like, you out your goddamn mind. Like, you thought shit was different? Like, no. COVID's over. You got a little cold, take some NyQuil, shut the fuck up. Now, anyway, the Marine came out of me. But the point is, it just blows my mind that the game, like, if I worked in the gaming industry, oh my God, gaming's booming. I'm like, no, bitch, we can't get pussy. Everybody's stuck at home. So what the fuck else we gonna do? We're gonna play games. But I guarantee the moment the club opens up, we out.
Yeah.
Like,
that's exactly what happened.
Like, I would have been like, are you guys out of your mind? Like, yeah, take advantage of what we're doing, but don't make this a long-term strategy. Because as soon as the clubs open up and, you know, the twerk contests happen again, dudes who now all of a sudden are gamers, they're going to go back to the twerk contest. It's just, there's no twerk contest. They're watching strip clubs online. That don't count. Like, people are forced to play games, you know? And there's only so many goddamn Netflix movies you can enjoy. So people were like, man, I got to do something different. And video games, VR, that shit was a way out. That was unique and like, oh, this is fun. But yo, as soon as COVID over, people dipped. You know, only the true gamers, or at least the casuals that always play game, kept playing, right? So it blew my mind. I'm thinking, holy shit, the industry really thought that there was like a big, huge shift in gaming. Like, no, this was a temporary bump to take advantage of. But don't get shit twisted. Come 2022, there's a lot of frauds in gaming. We know that. Motherfuckers were gonna stick around. Now all of a sudden, everybody's creating podcasts in 2020. Oh yeah, I'm a gamer. Boy, as soon as the fucking sun came back up, they dipped. Because they weren't gamers. They didn't give a shit about this. They were just forced to. They were just forced. They had to do it. There was nothing else you could do. There was nowhere to go. So when he said that, I'm like, man, this gaming industry's stupid. Like, I would have never. If I was in that room, I'd be like, stop. Like, don't rely on this as the status quo. This is not the new normal. People are just stuck at home. Take advantage of it. Create experiences now. But once COVID is over, we got to go back to how things were. Because...
Yo, Pirog, so you're telling me that no one got up in there first day back? I was like, hey, I need that Peloton bike. You know, like
fucking mic, boy,
I need that Peloton exercise class.
I'd be like,
I need the towel.
I got something better. I got this nice backpack. It weighs 100 pounds. We marching 15 miles. Let's go. You know, your Peloton bike is 15 miles from here. Let's go pick it up. Like, out your goddamn mind, bro. Like, if you thought shit was gonna change, like, this ain't the new normal. Like, we're forced to do this bullshit only because the government says so. But you best believe when they say, hey, COVID's over, back to normal, oh, we back to normal. It just blew my mind that the industry did that to us. So when he said that the layoffs is really just going back to the levels pre-2020, I'm like, that makes sense, because if you had all these great ideas, just like you mentioned, and now you realize, oh shit, that's not really how the gaming industry is, somebody fucked up. Somebody what's a good word to it? They just overestimated what the reality was, and no, it's not like that, man. And now people are paying for it, you know? So that was an interesting point you made.
Yeah, I think another thing is that, you know, like he said, hiring back then was cheaper because you hired a guy and then they just stayed at home and they worked on the laptop. You didn't have to find a parking space for them. You didn't have to rent a building. You didn't have to do all this. Now that we're going back to reality, all of these studios are like, hey, so we'll kind of work better if you just give us some space to kind of like all be together, preferably in a central location. Since we're all diverse, let's just say we're just going to a city. We're going to need a building. And there's like 300 of us. So could you like get us a building with parking space?
You think shit is cheap in downtown LA? Now what's wrong with you?
and suddenly you go from wait, hold on. So I hired all of you, and now you're about to cost me $200,000 more per month just for the exact same work. Like, you don't do any more work. You just for this building alone, now I have to pay for HVAC and electricity, and I have to pay for technicians to come and install all of your systems. I have to pay for security.
And how long is this gonna take? 7 years. I have to do this for 7 years.
and then you start multiplying, right? You start multiplying. Wait, 200,000 per month. That doesn't include parking.
He's paying for employees. And he has like a yoga room, yogurt bar, and motherfuckers don't deliver products for like 5 years. J-Jo's like, what the fuck is going on? You motherfuckers got a yoga bar, and you're telling me we can't get this shit built for another 5 years? You're fired. No, John, don't take a goddamn yoga cup on your way out. Just get the fuck out.
And then the heads of the studio are going to be like, so we'd actually also design the space. So if you could also and this is a boring office space. We are more creative than that. We want to have DualSense controllers on the wall for some reason. So we're gonna need 200 of those, free, of course. So yeah.
The feng shui of the office just doesn't feel right. Maybe
What?
if you could
We need
paint the room
Marie Kondo
magenta.
to come through and help us with minimizing office clutter.
Oh my god.
You know?
We're kind of tired of walking out the building to get a Starbucks. So if you could actually have Starbucks in the building,
In the building, we need baristas. We
that
need
would be
baristas.
great. That would be fantastic. And I'm like, and when is your game coming out? When is PlayStation 6 coming out again? I'll be like, oh hell nah, you're fired. Get the fuck out.
That's why London studio closed. They were like, it's the building, guys. It's too fucking. It's in the middle of London. You do not justify this building. We're gonna call you Sony Wells. Well done. We're gonna find you a cheaper building.
The gaming industry is gonna have to move to Oklahoma or
Exactly.
Iowa or some shit. In the cornfield.
Exactly.
Man.
We're gonna call you Sony Belgium. All right. We're gonna move this shit. You guys are too goddamn expensive.
Let me talk to J Dubs because J Dubs is a businessman. Hey, when COVID happened, did things change in your company when it was on lockdown? Well, you're from Texas. Y'all your own country. Y'all did what the fuck y'all wanted.
Yeah, we kind of did what we want to do, but
yeah. From your perspective, was there talk of, oh my god, this is the new normal, when it really wasn't? How was your perspective in this?
Well, my perspective, it wasn't that it was the new normal. We always, was always thinking of, I can't wait for this shit to go back to normal. we couldn't wait to go back to the norms. Even myself, I have a daily routine. I go into the office, I drink my coffee, I walk around, chit chat for a little bit, seeing how everybody's doing, then I get started on my day, right?
You drink coffee, don't you? The one the monkey shits the beans.
And then, so after that routine stopped, and we ended up doing the home thing, and then eventually everything kind of tried to go back to normal. But I knew then that when companies were able to be successful and maintain by having remote workers or come in a day or two or split your time and things like that. Once they were able to be successful with that, I knew that would become the norm as far as not being in the office from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. I knew that had changed. There was going to be some type of, it may not be every day of the week. It may be 2 days, you come in for 2 days or you work remotely for 2 days. I know there was going to be some give and play with that. But ultimately, we knew we were going to be back to normal. It was just a matter of time. It took a little bit too long, but I mean, we got there. But I never once thought that this is just the new norm. Me fucking sitting at home, bored out of my mind, wanting to be at work, wanting to be at the office, talking to my coworkers, talking to friends, talking to business associates and stuff like that. And even just my routine for my health, for myself. Getting out of the house and not being fearful of, if you open the front door that, the boogeyman is going to get you, stuff like that. It's just a routine. And once that routine changed, it was crazy, man. But as far as business wise, things got slow. We kept business going, but we knew we were going to get back to norm. And technically we came back to norm. But we still have there are some remote workers and the split time and, come in three days a week. So for those who are in positions to be able to do that, there's just some positions where you have no choice but to be there because it requires your physical appearance versus being on Zoom or, I can pretty much be in as long as I got my laptop and my phone. I mean, I'm anywhere. I'm up and down the road. I'm on the planes. I'm everywhere. Whether in the office when I need to be, when I have meetings, and here when I need to be. So it's the flexibility. But even before COVID, I knew the modern day 9 to 5 as it was for business workers. I knew that was all bullshit because I could physically see people bullshit 5 hours a day out of their schedule. 5 hours a day, they bullshit. They're just bullshitting. They're just lollygagging around, walking around, not doing work, just whatever. It is what it is. Especially we all know Friday is the least productive day of the week. That's like the least. But I've also worked with a bunch of European people and companies where they have Friday off. They have like the 4-day work week, and then their hours, their lunch hours are longer, and they have more off time, and they have other additives that create the quality of life that we don't have here in the States. And so I knew that. So I've always wanted to adopt that because I say I can get people to bust their ass for 10 hours a day for 4 days and give them off Friday, and they'll be fucking happy. But they'll be productive those 4 days.
Yeah.
But you get a motherfucker to be productive 4 hours a day for 5 days. Good luck. That just won't happen. That's just not happening. Like Jay say, you got people sleeping in the restroom, hiding in the restroom, people working in the warehouse doing. We all know
they want to photocopy their ass cheeks, wasting all the
paper.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we know that. Listen. We all work jobs. We've been, if you're of adult age, you've seen a lot of shit. You've seen how companies work and things that go down.
See, so they have was a ream of paper. So somebody photocopied their ass cheek, right, on the whole ream of paper, just one side, right? Then when it was done, they took it, flipped it upside down, and put the ream back into the printer. So when you print, your letters was printed on the top, but the back of the paper had ass cheeks on every paper. If you didn't notice, like you hand the letter to like a captain or a major, and they would flip the paper, you see this ass cheek on the other side of the sheet, bro. Oh my god, I started fucking. The funniest is when they posted like the sexual harassment policy, and you could tell it's like dark. And you're like, why is the paper so dark? And you flip it around, it's an ass cheek on the other side of it. Yeah. And you're like, oh my god, bro. Fucking Marines, bro.
Oh man, so
god, the shit we had to go through, man.
Oh man.
Like, fuck. Like if you put half of much of this intensity in war, ain't no country in the world gonna beat us, bro.
That's why no country in the world has beat you yet.
They can't, because they just can't, bro. Like the ingenuity we waste shit on, like it's unbelievable, bro. Like yo, you have to be a menace to have the time to like get your ass cheek, and you use like 100 reams, and it's all of it. And then, like, put it neatly, flip it around, and put it back in, and then walk away like nothing happened. And it took, like literally almost the whole day before people realized what was happening. Do you know how fucking devious? Like, yo, that shit was crazy. And then somehow end up, like, people like, oh, yeah, let me print out the latest, equal opportunity and sexual harassment policy. And people don't notice, and they're just posting everywhere. And it's your ass cheek in the back of the paper.
Oh, man.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
So much damn character.
I can't wait till I retire, because the stories I'm going to say on this podcast is gonna be on. I think that will be more popular than the fucking me talking about games. Me talking about my years in the Marine Corps will overshadow, because it's fucking wild, bro. The shit you see, wild, bro. It's just incredible.
They're gonna make you sign the ND on the way out.
Fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. You can't tell these stories, bro.
We know what you've seen.
Like, yo, it's just wild and shit, right? But I will say this: we'll end this off this topic, right? And go on to the next topic. So next topic I want to talk about is and this is interesting, and J Dub obviously joked about it. But Rare, Xbox first party studio, was actually sneaking around with the side bitch, with the new chick with Sony, right? But no jokes in fairness, they were actually secretly, coordinating with PlayStation. They would walk to the studios, but they said they couldn't wear anything Sea of Thieves because they didn't want to get attraction, because it was super top secret, so they would be inconspicuous. But clearly, this relationship to put games on PlayStation was happening at least for a year, because the game's coming out in April, right? And given, I don't want to say the complexity of the game, but really, I think that's a good word to use, right? Because you still have to develop it. You still have to make it work across multiple platforms, right? PC, Xbox, and Nintendo. So there is an online component to it. You have to, this is the first time working with PlayStation hardware ever in the studio's career, right? Working with Nintendo hardware. And now they're doing all this stuff, including all the seasons. They added DualSense, right? You can't do this in 2 months. You can't. This is at least a year in the making, right? So now let's look at the date, right? If the game comes out in April, and they took at least a year, minimum a year to start porting this, right? And that's to start porting. Never mind the actual decision to start porting.
Yeah,
you're talking Rare and Microsoft began this whole move to PlayStation January of 2023, before the ABK deal even started, right? Because the ABK was what, June?
Yep. Good.
Right, June, right? Chat. It
Yep.
was like June.
Well,
that was when the FTC trial was at. So, like, they were already porting Rare before even acquiring ABK. So this is more than just, well, ABK kind of changed their mind. Like, no, they changed their mind even before getting ABK.
Well, apparently, Puerto Rock, and I'll break it down a little bit further, because I was looking into this deeply along with my brother Post-Up. You know what I'm saying? The GitHub King. Shout out to Post-Up. When we kind of found it out, we looked into it, read the article, and then people that had things to say about it. Well, apparently, Rare had been working on this upwards prior, a little bit prior to 2020, when the console started. So that means, because what happened, and I don't want to, cut in front of you, but what happened is Microsoft allowed them to have a secret room. Basically, it had a secret development team and a secret room that was isolated from everybody else. And their job in that secret room that had the frosted glass and stuff like that didn't communicate with nobody else. And of course, this was funded by Microsoft. Rare is a Microsoft-owned studio. So basically, their job was to go in there and get development kits from Sony and get development kits from Nintendo and stuff like that. Find how it would work on the architecture to be able to put Rare games on PS5. So the sum of that came to Sea of Thieves. And I'm hearing there's going to be more games that's going to be done. Now, if you ask yourself, right, when they announced Everwild, that they were working on Everwild, that was supposed to be their next big game. They started over on that game 2 times. But word is, Everwild was never a game. It was just a code word. It was just to throw people off at the studio. Why these motherfuckers in here with frosted glass? Who are these people? And so Everwild was never a thing. Think about it. They never showed gameplay of Everwild. They even said after they showed the original trailer that they don't know what they want it to be. They don't know if it's going to be a fucking RPG. They don't want. It was a fluff piece. It was to throw people off within the studio themselves, to keep from asking questions and stuff. That's what it was. So they went to the elaborate extreme of this. Now, mind you, let's fast forward to the FTC trials and shit like that. All the while they're in court saying that Sony's doing this and that, but these motherfuckers got Sony PS5 development kits at their studios. And mark my words, it's not just Rare. It was more than Rare. The reason behind it is because it takes more than a month or two. It takes more than a half a year to port a game. It takes time to port a game on a brand new architecture that's not DX12, that's not within the confinements of the PC and the Windows and the Xbox and all that shit that goes into that, right? You literally not only have to have a development kit for PS5, right? But you have to be entrenched with Sony to get some of their they call it the hardware feedback team, that they basically, hey, we got issues, we need to know, how do you guys tackle this? And so a lot of times you hear Sony Sony have sent developers over to studios to kind of help out in certain areas for certain things because the guys don't understand the architecture and how they can squeeze every bit out of it. Both sides do that. Microsoft does that with some of their third party, but we've heard a lot about Sony doing that. Well, a lot of this stuff has been done under secrecy. And now that it's happening, it's out of the blue, the developers are giddy and happy about talking about this. So they're just blabbering at the mouth and they're, posting this stuff in these interviews and stuff. And they're talking about how this been in the making for a long time. And they're just so excited to be on a Sony platform and to work with the team and the guys at Sony. It was so great and all kind of stuff. And it made a lot of Xbox guys extremely salty because they were talking about it in such a glowing, like fanboyish manner. Like they just so happy to work with PlayStation. And it's just crazy to see that in 2024 after we've spent the last decade of Xbox people saying that this shit would never happen and it was a pipe dream and everything else. So that I just want to give you a spiel about the findings behind how this all came about.
Okay, all right, that's really interesting. I just found it interesting that even like if this was done early in January last year, no one really saw this coming. I mean, we had ideas of third party happening, but not this soon. I'll be honest, it caught me off guard. Like, especially when they announced March and April dates, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm thinking like 2026 or some shit. Like, fuck. Like, you guys didn't even let the ink dry on the ABK deal and stuff like that. So I just found that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have that article? Because I have it, and I have it kind of like to highlight the key points if you want me to read it.
No, yeah, if you want to put in the message in the group, and I'll put it on the
screen. Yeah.
Well, Jada does that. I think we have to realize that this was probably way earlier than 2023. I mean, this is an unprecedented, business move. They would have had to come to Sony and be like, "Hey, so what we're thinking of doing is helping you break our backs even more." And Sony would be like, "Why? We're doing perfectly fine destroying you." And they'd be like, "Yeah, but since we're gonna be destroyed anyway, we might as well make some money out of it." So
there you go, Porter.
Can we start negotiations? But how disrespectful is it as a Xbox customer that they came to you with Everwild and then their priority, their skunkworks, the top secret lab, was making your game for PlayStation?
I'll put it on Twitter for you. I had posted here in the
he never does that. He never does a general chat. He never does a general chat.
I know, right?
He doesn't even know where it is.
Yeah, no, check Twitter. Check
I really don't. Like I have a general chat. Since when?
He's just like he doesn't even know where it is.
Is that I don't check it. So in order if I do check it, do you know how much backlog messages I will have to go through?
You know how he's always asking every week about getting their lottery numbers? You could literally just put them in a general chat every single week ahead of time, and this guy will die a poor man.
Yep, I would die broke. like oh my god, I'm trying to catch up to. Just send it to the DM. All right, got it.
So one person here, Lunchi Sky, he asks, "Do I not like running?" Listen, why is it running? It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's not for me. I didn't buy a $4,000 TV to look at something that doesn't please my eye. I'm sorry, I didn't. So it doesn't please me visually, and I'm not gonna play it. But I do think it's.
So you don't really like Team Ninja
game.
games in general. Like you didn't really like Neo.
Yeah, but it's because it was ugly. Like it's not like I didn't like the gameplay. I tried it for like an hour. I was like, nope. Not doing it.
He's a photographer.
Hold on.
Shout out to Liquid Data. He says, "What about the Dune MMO that PS might be funding?" I'm looking at the website. It's coming out on Xbox, so I really can't find anything on the whole Doom MMO Sony funding part. I'm not sure, but you guys heard about that? I haven't heard anything. But in fact,
I didn't know that Sony had the deal for it. But I mean, I wouldn't.
They have a deal like what, marketing rights or something, or
I'm assuming. I mean, pretty much PlayStation has all the marketing rights, all games like pretty much these days anyway, right?
I had no idea.
Like Microsoft don't even go for marketing deals anymore. That's
unless they're on Game Pass.
Unless it's in Game Pass, but
that's about it. I didn't hear much about it. from that aspect. All right, interesting. But listen, so this is what you put. This is the first time in Rare's 40-year history that we're developing on a Sony platform, which is incredible. It was quite surreal for us getting on call and being presented with a set of slides about a platform that we never thought we would get an opportunity to go ship on. But honestly, for our tech team, it was like, let's just get kids in and start experimenting and figuring this out. We had them hidden away in a secret part of the studio with frosted windows and no one could peek in. It was excitement as much as anything else. And everybody thought they were making Everwild in that secret compartment.
Exactly.
That's crazy. That shit is funny. According to Neat, Rare is working with co-developers who have PlayStation experience, and Sony itself has been extremely helpful, holding regular catch-up calls and making its own tech staff available whenever needed, even when the project was still top secret. If we went and visited their studios, we had to do it not wearing Sea of Thieves t-shirts, as I'm sure you can imagine, says Neat. One huge benefit of preparing to welcome a new community is that it has given the team an excuse to stop and think about the game structure. Season 11 of the game, which launched in January, was developed with the knowledge that PS5 players would be joining soon. That is crazy. So
that's crazy, right?
Season 11, it was with PS5 players in mind.
PS5 in mind.
So the onboarding system has been revised. It now offers a much more cogent private journey with content unlocking at a more manageable pace and a quest boarding showing where to find stuff that was once hidden in artifacts or map icons. Rare is also planning to introduce an offline solo mode. Of course, gotta keep the PlayStation happy.
Bro, this is crazy.
Yo,
keep reading.
Yo,
reading.
You won't need Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus, says Neat. If you
look at that shit
to come and play on your own, you'll get to play Safer Seas as a solo player, so you can experience all of the Tall Tales content and all of the progression through the companies. It's another way to fall in love with the game before thinking maybe I want to go get that subscription, start playing multiplayer. Oh my god!
They catering to us, Puerto Rock. They catering to the ponies.
Extreme. Didn't you say that might happen? I could have sworn it was you a long time ago, Nick. Your first few weeks here, you were talking about how developers may change to the more overwhelming group. Like, be careful putting games on the platform, because then they adopt that platform style at the cost of
told you, yeah.
That was you,
No,
right?
I even said that recently. Yeah. I even said that recently. You know? Because I remember it was, I was responding to Doc Dark because he was saying that, why do I care? Yeah, why do I care if, these people put it on PlayStation and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, if you keep saying that you don't like the PlayStation type of games, but that we become more significant, they are going to adjust and they are going to adapt and are going to give us more of what we want and less of what you want. Like, that is just so obvious. You know, like, imagine if every single moviegoer was like, we only like movies like Oppenheimer. You will no longer get superhero movies and films and things like that. You know? And the reverse is true. If everybody goes and they show up for like Disney Marvel things, that's why you get so much Disney Marvel things. That's 100% true. And it will happen. It will.
That was the conversation. Exactly. It was with Doc Dark. He said, I didn't care games go to PlayStation. You warned them that if those games are ported and they realize PlayStation's the biggest audience, they will adapt to us because we're the overwhelming audience. And you will be asked out because you're the niche audience. You warned them. Like, yo, that is crazy. Right?
It's crazy how all of that transpired, man. These guys, I keep going back, and I know guys, for whatever reason, they keep giving Phil a pass. But Phil was lying through his teeth, not only in the courthouse, but to the gamers. You know what I'm saying? To the game. Like, he's out here plotting and planning and strategizing behind your back while he's out here lying to you and tell you he cares about you. And he, bro, that's crazy.
Came out in May, right?
Came out in last May. Yep, last May.
When Redfall fell, he said, we're going to do better for Xbox. He knew that we're making games for PlayStation. Even when he was on that podcast.
Yep.
This conniving fuck.
Yep. But a bigger thing, Puerto Rock, is the fact that how the fuck could you not see this happening or see this coming? Right? And while these dudes are talking about Microsoft profits and how much revenue they got coming in, these motherfuckers is plotting behind your back to, I don't know, man. At this point, we already know it's the whole 4 games, and we know it's going to be the whole slate coming. There is no dispute about it. And guess what? Rare's new IP that they're working on is going to be day one with fucking PlayStation. I mean, it's going to be made with PlayStation in mind. The way this guy talked about PlayStation and stuff, it's like he's just fawning over PlayStation, and that's crazy. That's just crazy.
That is the one thing. When was the last time that you saw these developers so excited to talk about the game? That was my thing for me. That just disgusted me. I'm just like, I feel angry on behalf of my Xbox brothers.
Yeah.
Because when these guys come out to you, they're just spewing shit. You know, they just tell you, oh, this or that, and then the Kraken is liking. But no, when they bring it to PlayStation, look up. They're like, oh my god, it's been 40 years we've been waiting for this. They're acting like virgins, and they finally get to have sex. Like, they're just like, oh yeah. You know, my friends have always been telling me about this sex thing, you know? Let me finally find out what it's like.
Yo, I want to go back to this because this was May 4th. Now I want to look at this. This was May 4th when he did this and the whole apology tour with Xbox, right? I mean, with Redfall.
Yep.
This, now that we know when this happened, Phil already knew Rare was making a game for PlayStation. That's a whole different context. When this happened, none of us knew that it was actually being executed. You know, most of us was guessing, even to this day, you know, I mean, even at that point in time, most of us was anticipating that this decision of putting games on PlayStation will eventually happen. But right here, he knew because it was already implemented. Rare now, on this day, was making a PS5 port. It was happening. They had the dev kits and they're working. The whole world thought, you know, whatever, they were focusing on Xbox. This was even before Activision Blizzard. But the reality is, right there, Phil was the only one, and he knew that we're making games for PlayStation. I want to hear now that we know he knew, I want to hear his context now. Now that I know this dude was making games for PlayStation, I gotta hear his shit right now.
He's gonna lie. He's fucking just gonna lie and say, well, you know, we've always talked about opening up to more gamers and play anywhere, and we want, you know, we already said that PlayStation, Nintendo is part of our ecosystem, and we're one big happy family. He's gonna say some bullshit, even though this shit happened way before he even said that bullshit. 30 frames. So,
should Xbox players expect it?
So Puerto Rico, here's the bigger question that we have now. The bigger question is, how long before they're going to X out Xbox anyway? Since it's the smallest ecosystem, it's the smallest fan base, it's the smallest everything. How soon will all this new revenue and this new focus on PlayStation, Nintendo that actually has 100 and, you know, a month with just between Nintendo and PlayStation, they got damn near 400 million, you know, install base or whatever when it comes to consoles out in a while.
So I'm gonna say
how soon before that transition happens.
So I'm gonna say this. I think I'm gonna be honest. Right now, the console's only saving grace. Right now, only saving grace is Game Pass, because technically they are right about one thing. It is the only way to get Game Pass if you're a console gamer. If you're a console gamer and you're enjoying Game Pass and you want those day-and-date games from Microsoft and day-and-date games of whatever third-party partners they can get, there is no other console that does that. PlayStation doesn't do it, and Nintendo definitely doesn't do it. So if Game Pass is what you want, right? You don't want to buy games. You want a service that has lots of games, and the service provides you new games day and date. Game Pass is the only way to do it. So if that audience is still there and still viable and wants to play on consoles, I think that's how Xbox consoles is gonna thrive or survive. I say survive. Now for next gen, I think Microsoft should take a cue from Nintendo, which is if you want to have a successful console, you can't do what Sony does. You have to do what PlayStation's not good at or doesn't do at all. Nintendo figured out PlayStation just simply sucks at mobile. They can't keep up. They're not good at it. They're not putting the effort to try to be good. You know what? We're going to double down on that market. And you see Nintendo's completely dominating. They're dominating a market that Sony's just not good at. And Sony's simply not there. And probably Sony will never be there. Microsoft has to do the same thing. So Microsoft have to look at themselves and be like, all right, what market is Sony adamantly not really want to do? And that's subscription. Sony's not about the day-and-day games on subscription. They're not out there trying to convince people, don't buy games, just enjoy PSN, Extra, and Premium. They have it, but they're not making like that huge push to this is how you should play your games through our subscription service. They want you to buy their $70 games. They want you to buy the Goldies, pay your $70, whether it's third party, second party, first party, hell, they even said putting Horizons Forbidden West a year later, that shit was a bad idea. So clearly Sony's not about the subscription plan in its full face. That's where Microsoft needs to lean into. They need to double down on the subscription plan, but the audience is different. I think that audience is more about saving money, value, and not spending a lot. So you don't create a console that try to compete with PlayStation power and performance. You create a console that's good enough to have the games that are relevant be made on that console. So let's say like if they were to do this gen all over, instead of creating the Xbox Series S and Series X, create something that's a little bit more than the Series S, but weaker than the Series X. Release it for $300 and don't talk about power. Don't talk about PlayStation. Just talk about the one thing PlayStation doesn't do, which is Game Pass. Hey, for $300, you get a great console that can, do well with all the games, and you get day-and-day games, and coupled with Game Pass, you're going to enjoy this product. That's something that Sony's not advertising. So to be successful in this market, simply do what Sony doesn't do. And attack
I have a solution
and go there.
I have a solution for Xbox.
You'll be all right.
I have a solution for them. Create the PC gamers console. That is, number one, make it something that is seamless with their PC. It has to run Steam. It has to work well on Steam. It has to just uphold Steam as its primary storefront. Okay? Basically, a big Steam machine. Number two, it helps if you make it a handheld. They love handhelds now. Love handhelds.
Like the Steam Deck.
Exactly.
Okay.
Number three, it helps if you make it integrated into Game Pass. So you know how they have Game Pass separate from Steam? For this PC gamers console, you've got to have the Game Pass and Steam integrated into one another. So that for those little pirates that will go out there and pirate the game, you appeal to them and you tell them they can get it on Game Pass instead. That will be the way. Not easy, but all they have to do is buy Steam.
Buy Steam.
Well, you can't.
That's not a lie. I'm surprised they didn't buy Valve yet. Fuck
There you
this
go.
shit.
There you
We're buying
go.
Valve.
Just kill Gabe Newell, buy Steam, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Twisted Sid. He says, "I said this time and time again. Phil is a politician. He always lie." So, all right, let's go back just to this last segment. Let's hear what Phil says. But now we all know Rare's making. All these guys are making PS5 games. We didn't know at this time. We were so oblivious that it was already happening. To think that on this day, look at his face. Look at his smirk. The motherfucker already knew. Look at that smirk. He's like, if these bitches only knew. That's that face. Like, if you only knew what I knew. This is bullshit. Why the fuck is this? I'm getting a circle of death.
Oh man.
Like, oh man, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this circle of death happening? This is annoying. Like, Microsoft's not trying to it feels like you're not trying to embarrass me, Puerto Rock. Your shit's not working. We shutting your OS down. Did you put the audacity here?
This is why I stopped shopping on
but
Amazon.
the commercial.
And you should too. Don't spend another dime on.
Yo, aren't you supposed to live in a land of freedom? What is this shitty internet you got?
Bro, I'm telling you, would think America will have the best and we don't. Like, y'all motherfuckers blow us out the water. Japan, Korea, Europe. Like America has.
To be fair, Australia is pretty bad. We're not one of the good ones either. Yeah, we follow America way too closely.
Website? Like what the fuck? I bet you I put like Little Yachty on that shit will work. The fuck is going on here? Like yo,
if you put on Kim Kardashian, you'll be good.
Like yo, J-Dub, nothing's really working. Like not even a 40.
Man,
I'm gonna rattle off a couple quick ones with you.
Going down to 480p.
It works. 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message?
You should have done that. You should have done that the other
Starfield
Talking
with
about
30 and
you.
60 frames. That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides.
That's not the only thing he's going to elevate.
But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves? Whether it be
he's
the
about to give
homepage
more
update,
console love. He's thinking
achievements, of
shit.
course, looking forward and using
We're about to
the
get love to
power of
even
this
more
next gen.
consoles.
Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still there? And can we see more love on that side?
Oh, you're gonna see more love in his mind.
Well, we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. You know, Paris talked about this. Play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want.
Oh, we know your
vision. We want
vision.
Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members.
You forgot about PlayStation.
Of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices. And,
you forgot PlayStation players.
We're not in the business of out consoling Sony. Or out consoling Nintendo.
We know.
There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know.
No. You had the solution. In fact, you're already doing it.
But it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're
stop reading research papers like
dude was full of shit the whole time.
No, that's not a great solution. No, you already implemented the solution.
While reading takes up more time than you could imagine.
Third place in the console marketplace, and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases,
and you're going to make them stronger.
Very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on.
And now
us,
you made
not
Xbox real easy. Now you made it real easy.
Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform.
You really made Xbox feel like first-class citizens.
I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just
download the new information,
look at Paris.
Win the console
can I zoom in on him? Yo, my man's about to tear.
Most people, like
shit, Paris
every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three ecosystems. And their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft,
Paris is
like
just
the continuity.
He's about to get a whiplash. He's straight up
so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time.
Even other guys like everybody. That whole podcast is like
was a clean slate, and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world.
You ever got in trouble in school? You had to go to principal's office or whatever for whatever reason, and they are just yelling at you, whatever, and all you could do is you just nod your head, right? That's what they're all doing.
Look down at the floor.
Or you look down on your floor, or your dad's mad at you, and you're like, Like you're not. He's not even asking a question, but you're nodding acceptance. Like, yep. That's what they all doing right now. Yo, this shit is wild, and no one knew. No one knew that it was already happening. Yep. Oh, this is wild, bro. I knew 2024 was gonna be crazy, but not like this. Not like this. Yep. This was wow, bro. I mean,
what I can't believe is just the amount of disrespect that they've been shown. As a community, you guys have your brand, you have your platform, you've been supporting it through its worst times. And, I never believed in this whole nonsense of like, oh my God, 2024 was the year. Because I'm like, we saw that developer direct, there was nothing coming. Like, if you guys thought that 2024 was looking good for you, I don't know what you were smoking. But in any case, it was a better year by Xbox standards. And just when they hit something that is like semi-decent for them, they decide to just give it all the way to PlayStation. And I'm sorry, you guys come out with like Last of Us Part 3. Like, it makes no difference because we all know we're going to share that pie. In matter of fact, if they gave you Last of Us Part 3, it'll be to appeal to us, not you. Like, it's not even for you anymore. Xbox Studios are our studios now. They're our bitches now. That TV, that's ours. That remote, ours. That couch we just put our feet on, that's ours too. It's just like, oh man. How do you guys keep being Xbox fans after this? How do you keep being Phil Spencer fans? He literally makes games, gets you to beta test them, and then sends them over to PlayStation Police with DualSense support. Because he's not taking away any features. He didn't have to put a DualSense in there, but he was like, no, these are our paying customers.
No. Listen, it's even worse. The fact that PlayStation are getting Xbox games running at 120 frames, running at double the frames a second that it is on Xbox.
Yeah, no glitches this time, right?
Shows you enough, right? No bugs. 120. As Dust Falls in what's the other game? It's all of them are Pentiment. All of them are better performing, better looking, more features. It's like it's crazy. Listen, Xbox doesn't have an offline version of Sea of Thieves. PlayStation guys get they get catered to, and if you're still holding the line for somebody who lied to you to your face while catering to the opponents, that shit is crazy.
Yo, that is crazy. Again, I'm just like, you know what? They should have seen this coming, J-Dub. They really should have. Do you remember when I first came on here, I kept ranting about the fact that this guy said that God of War was his most anticipated game of that year? And I kept saying, like, it doesn't matter what you have, say that instead. And if you have nothing, go back, say you're going back and playing an old game. Like, they were the backwards compatible champ anyway. He should have just said, oh, I'm going to go and play Gears 5 again. This time at 120 frames because of blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you do not say that your competitor's product is your favorite or your most look forward to product of that year. Like, are you crazy? So you guys are all out here capping for this. And he's like, well, I'm going to go to where the good stuff is. Like, what am I going to do? Play my studio's games? Like, so I don't know. I feel like Phil is so transparent that it's almost on us to be like, wait, we should have seen this coming. Like, I'm kicking myself for not having predicted this because I'm just like, wait a second, the signs were there. King Thrash predicted this ages ago. So clearly it was possible. But, oh man, the disrespect that he gives you.
Oh man. But anyway, hey, I think we pretty much covered the two main topics today. We're gonna do our outros. This is so crazy what's going on. But anyway, let's see. The Craig probably already left, so we'll start with J-Dub, my brother.
Hey, y'all know where to find me, man. Find me on Twitter at JDubCity16. Always popping shit, just having fun with the console. Did you pre-order Sea of Thieves? You know this, man. I'm gonna be in that thing day one, man. You know what I'm saying? Field provides. Who am I to deny the greatness?
That's cool. That's
you
cool.
said it landed on your lap. It landed on your lap. You couldn't do anything about it.
That is
Listen,
cold. You cold.
You were
Listen.
minding your business and they just
I was minding my
VR,
business.
What if they added VR support?
Oh, listen, I said that. I say, listen, it's just a matter of time before we get Halo in VR, before we get Forza in VR. It's like there is nothing off limits. There is literally nothing off limits at this point. And the sad part about it, the first 4 games that are coming over are actually selling on PlayStation. Matter of fact, Sea of Thieves is the top selling on PlayStation. Xbox dudes thought, oh, well, yeah, he just giving y'all the trash because y'all ain't gonna buy it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna buy it. Shit, they found out ponies buy fucking games and play games. So now they sit over there with the fucking goofy look because they realize these motherfuckers are actually buying games. Phil is gonna look at that and say, fuck, let's throw the whole slate. That's why I've been saying for the longest, the whole slate coming. Mark my words, Starfield is on the way. Matter of fact, it's rumored that Starfield is going to be a holiday release for PS5. Can you imagine Starfield launching alongside the PlayStation 5 Pro? 60 frames, 4K, the whole bells and whistles, offline mode, online mode, everything. Dude, that shit gonna be crazy. Collector's edition, VR edition, that shit gonna be crazy. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, I would be pissed. So now you see why Jim Ryan retired. Once he found out the plans, and I've said this, I've told people, I honestly believe in that court, I believe, of course, off record, because they didn't want the public to know about it. You know, some of this stuff was redacted, but I honestly believe they told Sony their plans to exit the hardware business, their plan to go third party, be a third party publisher. That's the only reason they was vying for this $70 billion acquisition, so that they could, you know, of course, they're still going to compete with the EAs of the world, the Ubisofts, and all the other third party, but they don't really care. They have the big daddies, they have the Call of Duties, they have the World of Warcrafts, they have all that stuff. They're just going to put them everywhere and make a shitload of money. So all these bots that have been capping for Microsoft money, kudos to you. They're just going to make much more of it, but at the expense of your hardware, of your Xbox console that you love. You know, they don't care. They're not going to, if you're expecting Xbox to get a bunch of exclusives and shit like that, dude, the mere fact that they wouldn't even tell you if Blade is an exclusive. Whereas when Sea of Thieves came out, they screamed to the top of the lungs, this is a Xbox exclusive. They won't even tell you that with Blade. They won't even tell you that with fucking Hellblade. I guarantee you, Hellblade is fucking right around the corner. It is what it is. Console war's over.
Yeah, right now they definitely can't say anything is exclusive because, like I said, everything's on the table. So asking Microsoft to say if a game's exclusive, it goes completely against their concept, the ideal. Like, again, there's still people that think that Xbox will hold on to exclusives, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand the partial exclusive strategy. Like, so you're not going to keep all your games exclusive because you have to worry about the console, but you're going to keep some exclusives to worry about the console. The strategy doesn't make sense, right? So imagine, like, oh no, we got to keep Halo Infinite exclusives because what? Halo Infinite sells consoles still or something? And you're just going to let 343 watch Rare get bigger, make more money, have more players, and Rare and 343 or, 343 Studios just going to sit there and do nothing. But you're going to let Rare get shine. Like, no, they're not going to put up with that. They're going to be like, hell no, we want what Rare's doing. How the fuck does Rare get more money, more people, but we can't? When our game really is already stagnant the way it is. So, yeah. But good point, brother. Extreme!
Yo. So, guys, listen. J-Dub said it fell on his lap.
That's it.
That's what he said. He said that, the Phil Spencer, he was minding his business playing Helldivers, and Phil Spencer is going to drop Starfield on a PlayStation 5 Pro. Crazy. That's crazy. That's disrespectful right there. But anyways, hey, listen. You can find me on Twitter where I just spend my day being right all the time. It's almost annoying. Pretty much doesn't matter. What is it? I predicted that Suicide Squad was going to be trash, and it was. Starfield was going to be trash, and it is. Halo Infinite, same thing, and it is. So you know what? I've been on the lookout for the next trash game, okay? And I haven't found it yet. But don't worry, the game industry is going to provide, and when they do, I will be one of the first to let you know that it's garbage, and you guys will tell me once again that I have to play the game first, but I won't because I'm right. So if you like that kind of attitude, you just make sure you follow me on Twitter, and you'll receive plenty of it.
All right. On the way out, shout out to Ryan Landis. He says J-Dub selling the seas on the SS Pegasus. As he should. Ahoy, mateys. Oh man, there's gonna be some pony and bot wars in the high seas, and of course Admiral J-Dub. He's gonna lead everybody to victory. Oh shit. Oh, it's gonna be crazy times, man. This is gonna be hilarious, man. It's just wow. What a way till 2024 kicks off and stuff like that. But anyway. At the time, we had up to 400 people up in here. On your way out, please hit the like button. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of 60 Frames No Lag. We're about to let me shut the vote down. So I'm gonna end the poll.
Yeah. How do we finish?
And it finished with 412 votes. And so with 412 votes, the question was, do you think canceling Spider-Man multiplayer was the right decision? And 70% said yes, 29% said no. So as far as this channel goes, the majority feels it was the right move for Insomniac to shut that shit down, focus on single player greatness. We got Helldivers. In fact, I think Helldivers is more than enough. You ain't got to do no more. Leave it at that. Enjoy it.
Oh, you turn them to stop now. You're ahead.
Stop now. Just stop. You know what? You won. You got it. You got your unicorn. Stop looking for another one. Oh, we can find another. Like what?
Yo, Portwork, you're the guy Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Once a contestant gets to 500,000 and they've got one more question to $1 million, you're like, stop it now. Stop it.
Stop now.
You have 500K richer.
He's like, I got one more in me.
Nope. Go your ass home. No one's ever won it. Get the fuck up.
Oh shit.
You won't be the first. They're gonna pull out the most random trivial question.
Yeah.
Go home now.
Yeah.
Take your 500K to your wife.
I'm at 400K. And he's like, hey, we got one more question. I'm like, but I don't. I'm taking that 400K and I'm ghost.
I don't have one more answer.
You lucky I didn't stop at 100. Oh, shit. Shout out to True Virgil. He said, Pastor through M in Chocolate Thunder Cell on Z's channel. What the hell?
I don't even know what they're talking about. I demolished Pastor. But you know what? He's an expert. He's got to stand against, the other one.
Oh shit! Oh I know you're not, man. You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. Once they mention Chocolate Thunder, it's gotta be left alone. Anyway, because this weirdos. Hey, thank you very much to the channel members. Thank you so much for becoming part of the 60 Frames No Lag family. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. To my panel members, thank you so much for showing up week to week to preach the truth to the community. Because god damn it, somebody's gotta do it. We got too many goddamn frauds in this community. Then, of course, to everybody in the chat, everybody viewing the video, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and I hope you stick around. This is your only friend, YouTube Streets, Porter Rock 77, and we're out of here. You guys take care. Peace.